Hello there, and thank you for joining me on another video during Spooktober, where I do a murder video every single day and hopefully with some sort of spooky or additionally spooky, supernaturally possibly twist. Today we are talking about the Red Barn murders, which I actually think is our first British murder, and as I am British, that's exciting. This notorious murder happened in 1827 in Suffolk, England. The story involves a man named William Corder. He was a man from a very poor family who had recently lost his brother, who had tried to cut across a lake and died. He was shortly followed by his father and I think another brother. He was in need of family, finance and security. So he started dating a woman called Maria Martin, who was 5 years his senior. She was also from a poor family, living with her father and mother. He was only a farmer of meagre means, but she was able to read and write, which at the time would have been very impressive. However, when she was about 16 or 17, she did go off the rails a little bit and had 3 children out of wedlock, one of them being to William Corder's brother. None of the fathers had wanted to marry her, and usually that did mean she would be sent to the workhouse. However, one of the other fathers, a squire, would send her £5 every quarter, which saved her from the workhouse. Maria and William dated for about 18 months until she eventually got pregnant, but unfortunately that pregnancy did not see itself to fruition. As time went on, more and more pressure went on William to marry Maria from her family, as they were desperate to see her wed and supported. But he wasn't the nicest man. In fact, it was quoted by one of his peers that they would see him hung one day. Jokingly, but it goes to say what kind of character people saw him as. He even stole the £5 from her once before anyone noticed. At the time, that was a capital punishment and he would have hung for that. But when she found out, she didn't tell anyone. However, she did hang it over his head a lot. As the pressure grew more and more to marry Maria, he did not seem enthusiastic about it, but he did eventually agree to it. He told Maria to meet at the Red Barn at midnight and they would elope and get married. It's not 100% sure why he picked the Red Barn for them to meet, but it is believed that the Red Barn was a significant part of their relationship, as that's probably where they went to have intimate encounters, so it probably didn't seem suspicious to meet there. According to William's testimony, that when they met, a fight broke out about the £5 note which she constantly hung over his head. The fight went a bit too far. She took the pistol from him, which he often carried, and held it to her head, threatening to kill herself. He tried to take the gun away from her, but the gun went off and she got shot and died. He buried the body in a shallow grave and ran away to London. Whilst he was in London, he would send letters to Maria's family saying that she was alive and well and definitely married and she was definitely not dead. They would write letters saying, "Why haven't we heard from her?" And he would come back with excuses saying she is tired, her hand hurts, he's writing for her. He even wrote back once saying she needed a holiday from the stress of letter writing. They were very feeble excuses, but at the time there was not much that could be done about it. Eventually, Maria's mother started having dreams about a murder of her daughter taking place in the Red Barn. The dreams would happen over and over again to the point she begged her husband, Maria's father, to go looking in the Red Barn. He eventually agreed, and when they went there, they found a patch of soft dirt and they didn't have to dig too long until they found their dead daughter. A detective traced his way all the way to Healing to find William, who was now married to someone else after putting an advertisement in 2 newspapers looking for a wife. He was also running an all-girls school and probably thinking he'd got away with it. He was taken to St Edmunds Jail and was tried and found guilty and sentenced to death. The story was an absolute national sensation, and 15,000 people gathered from near and far to watch this man hang. In those days, criminals' bodies were given to medical science, so his body was donated and his skin was leathered and turned into a book, which can actually still be seen in St Edmundsbury Museum, where Chris Mycock, the curator, has shown in this video.
This is William Corder's scalp, with his right ear still attached, and you can actually see the stubble of his hair. This delightful leather-bound volume actually bound in William Corder's skin. And if we open it up, we can see inside the bookmark for the Bury St Edmunds Athenaeum Institute museum originally was housed there. And you can see here it says, the binding of this book is the skin of the murderer, William Corder, taken from his body, tanned by myself in the year 1828.
My theory is that when they met in the barn, maybe he was going to elope with her. Maybe he was going to bite the bullet and do it. He obviously wasn't opposed to marriage, as he was married when the detective found him. He was opposed to marrying her. So maybe he had cold feet at the Red Barn. Maybe he wasn't sure. Maybe in the Red Barn, she threatened him if that fight over the £5 note came about again. Maybe he threatened to leave. Maybe he didn't even threaten to leave. Maybe he said, I don't want to marry you. And she grabbed the pistol saying, if you leave, I'll tell. Maybe he said he didn't care. Maybe she grabbed the gun and said, if you go, I'll kill myself. Maybe he didn't care. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe he killed her. There was a threat constantly over his head that not that, oh, I'll tell you're a bad guy. I can tell the authority and you will hang for it. Surely you can't want to marry someone who would threaten technically death on you. It just seems like a really toxic, horrible relationship from the get-go, and it's not right that she died, but that's my theory on what could have happened. What's yours? What do you think? Do you think he planned it, or do you think it was an accident? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying this series throughout October. I know I'm loving doing them. If there's a particular story that you know of and you'd like me to research, please comment below. I'm always looking out for new ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!